You are listening to Kimmi and the Sea Dragon, Book 1 of The Mermaids of Crystal Cay, written by J.B. Moonstar, narrated by R.J. Burns, published by The Little Horsemen, a division of Four Horsemen Publishing Incorporated. Copyright J.B. Moonstar 2023, all rights reserved. Dedication. This book is dedicated to Diana Wren and Creature Conserve for their valuable assistance and support as I searched for the information and resources to create a mermaid world for the mermaids of Crystal Cay. Thank you for your guidance, as well as for your continuous work in bringing artists and scientists together in a joint effort to protect and save endangered species. Chapter 1. Arrival of the Sea Dragons. "Kimmi, where are you?" Aliana shouted through the cave. The leader of the Crystal Cay mermaid pod was getting worried that a required attendee was still not in attendance. "I'll be right there," Kimmi called back, swimming quickly through the connecting tunnel to get to Aliana's cave, her long ruby-red hair tangled with several seashells that she tried to straighten with her fingers as she entered the cave. "Here I am." "Where have you been? You know the sea dragons will be here any moment now. We need to be ready," Aliana replied once Kimmi was back in her cave. "I know. I can't wait to play with the real sea dragon," Kimmi replied excitedly. "You're not just to play with him, Kimmi. You need to raise him and protect him until he's big enough to live out in the ocean with his family. Do you understand?" Aliana scolded her, hoping for once that Kimmi was listening to her. "And don't take him beyond the reef." "Of course, Aliana," Kimmi said, trying to sound serious. "I will take very good care of him. Don't worry. We'll stay close to home. How hard can it be to take care of a baby sea dragon?" "You'll soon find out how hard it can be. Now untangle your hair, straighten your necklace, and go to the front chamber and wait for their arrival," Aliana said, shaking her head, not sure if Kimmi knew what she'd gotten herself into. Aliana's pod had been asked to care for the young son of a family of sea dragons living off the coast. This was not an unusual request, as even though adult sea dragons are enormous, their children start off as tiny sea dragons and are too small to be safe in the big ocean. Since it became too dangerous for adult sea dragons to remain in shallow waters while their young grow into their sea dragon scales, the mermaids have taken over raising them from shortly after they are born until they are big enough to swim with their parents in the deep water. Aliana's experience taught her that baby sea dragons also needed to be taught how to interact with the other sea creatures while living with the mermaid pod, so that once they're big, they were able to watch out for smaller residents. Big sea dragons have big responsibilities. Roselia, the normal sea dragon nanny, was not available, so Kimmi gladly volunteered to watch the new sea dragon, but she had never even seen one before. The past few days had been spent teaching Kimmi what was needed to properly raise a young sea dragon. However, Aliana was not too sure how much Kimmi would remember. Keeping Kimmi still to teach her all she needed to know on how to raise a baby sea dragon was difficult. Swimming in circles or chasing a stray fish that wandered into the cave, Kimmi was too excited to stay still and listen to Aliana's instructions. As Aliana joined Kimmi in the main chamber, she watched Kimmi swimming around the entrance. She called out, "Kimmi, come stay by me so they have enough room to enter, okay?" The main chamber was lit from an opening in the ceiling, with the sun filtering down through the water giving them light. It was large enough to accommodate adult sea dragons, but it would be tight. "Yes, Aliana," Kimmi replied as she quickly swam back and positioned herself next to Aliana. "Now, remember what I've taught you," Aliana reminded her yet again. "You are his protector and teacher, not just a playmate, okay?" "Yes, I'll remember," Kimmi said absent-mindedly, her eyes wide and focused on the cave entrance, waiting to see her first sea dragon. Suddenly a loud roar echoed through the chamber, announcing the arrival of the sea dragon family. "They're here," Aliana whispered to Kimmi. "Remember, bow to the mom and dad and follow my lead." Aliana swam out toward the middle of the chamber with Kimmi following behind. With just her and Kimmi inside, the cave looked huge. However, Aliana knew that once the sea dragons entered, it would feel a bit crowded. "Please enter, Ferdinand and Alexis. You're welcome," Aliana called out loudly. The sea dragon...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?